My name is Vince McIntyre. I'm a farmer. I was born in the west of Ireland. I've lived here since 1979. I found this place by accident and decided to camp here with my girlfriend in 1979. We were both of us were homeless, and I was wondering where we were going to spend the winter. And there was an old man in Johnson's Landing. He wanted me to get him some poles for his chicken house to build, and he knew there was nice straight cedar poles up here. So I take Amber up here and we get some poles, but in the process Amber forgets her red shoes. I had to bring her back up here to get her red shoes, so I brought my girlfriend up here, and I was just wanting to see how she felt about the place, and she was just totally amazed by the place. I felt like a drifter, a traveler. I'd traveled a lot around BC and just seeing what was happening. I'd go down to the coast sometimes. I'd go up to the Caribou, the Chilcotin, and camp, and then find some work to do for somebody. I worked for the hay rancher up there, cattle rancher, and that's where I first used horses in BC. Was helping an old rancher put up hundreds of acres of hay with horses, and the only machine he had, a tractor machine he had, was the mower, and everything else he did with the horses, cutting it and stacking, or picking it up and stacking it, and me and him and an Indian family. Yeah. From there, I knew, both of us like it here. I left home because I didn't get along with my dad, and and I got as far away as possible from family because of all the tragedies associated with my childhood. And I ended up going to South America for a year, and then when I come back, I went as far north as I could go. I was to Dawson City, and there was something like I was getting away from, that back then I never thought I'd ever settle down, that I'd always be a traveler. Right? And when I come here, I kind of grew into the place, and my daughter was born here in the Kootenays, so that's probably the reason that it made it home for me. Yeah. I guess we were first of all the whole feeling of being illegal, being on Crown land and not that's something we had to deal with, whether or not we were going to get eviction notice or whatever. And that kind of stayed with me for a few years, and then I got over that, and as I got over that, then I become more home, because I got more attached to the place now, and now this is it for me probably. The next spring we started. Out here it was just real deep slash, from the debris from logging. Because back on the log, they just knocked everything down. This was the first clear cut in the Lardo Valley here. It was little, 40 acres. And when the loggers, I knew the old man that logged here, and he told me that when the new regulations come in for clear cutting, because they didn't take it seriously when they just took out the stuff they could sell, and they left the rest standing. But they got sent in to knock it all down. So that's when I come here, that's what it was like. People had been up here to get firewood and fencing material and all that, but basically it was, you needed cork boots to get around here. It was quite. So next spring we started clearing some of that up and burning some of it and taking some of it out, and that's what our place up here is built out of, stuff that come out of the slash. Yeah.
It looks.
When we depend on an industrial system for our survival, we might protest all that and think that we're defeated and so on, but it still works, eh? But if we want to get our power back and be able to do things for ourselves and not pay other people to live our lives for us, we have to be devoted. We have to learn stuff and stick with it. We have to. define our lives instead of us defining it, or by saying what maybe I'd like to go to Thailand for the winter or whatever, you know, like that's a whole new concept to the world, eh? And I can remember when when people heard of people immigrating to New York, for instance, from the west of Ireland and going there, and they could you know, work like 5 or 6 days a week and have vacations. We didn't quite know what vacation meant. It was a new idea. It feels very permanent in the sense that it feels like home. This is most at home I feel any place since I left the place I was born.